All right, there. Are you happy?
So happy.
I'm always happy. I'm a happy guy. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. That sounds like a good.
You don't want to.
Oh, you guys are gonna think I'm joking, but my whole system just froze. Can you hear me?
Yep.
My entire system is locked up.
Well, that's pretty crappy.
That's extremely crappy. I wonder if I could... Actually, maybe it's just Firefox. Yeah, maybe it's just Firefox, actually. I might need to kill Firefox, which is fine. I don't have anything running in Firefox.
Okay. Boop-a-doop-boop-boo.
I have a feeling this is not going to go well for me tonight. All right. Let's have a party. All right. Yeah. Let me try to kill Firefox. Oh, actually, I think I have a little thing to do this. Kill process. Yes.
For what it's worth, you're still frozen in Skype.
Oh, I'm frozen in Skype?
Oh, no, you're not.
Oh,
You're
okay.
frozen on... Never mind. Thomas just doesn't have it focused. Never mind. That's my fault. Sorry.
No worries.
I knew it. I knew it. I got it, Tom. Sorry.
Hey, Tom. I don't think your thing always updates if you're not focused on it. I think that's the
You
problem.
know what? I've been hearing that from people.
I think that might be the core of your issue there.
You
ready?
It doesn't look like... Are you ready? That's the question. Are you ready?
Man, I'm ready. I can do this. I'm not scared.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm scared if
I don't
your
know.
system is... I'm scared if your system's freezing up on you.
Yeah. Let me get Trello open at least. So I know what show we're on. What are we on? 210? I feel like it's a 210. Damn it. I'm not even...
210. Well, you're logged into Zencaster.
Yeah, because I have that open in Chrome. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're good. All right. Okay, let's do a clap check. And then silence after, please. Clap check. 3, 2, 1.
And then silence, right? I'm sorry, you guys weren't updating on my screen. I couldn't tell if you guys froze or not.
This will be our last show.
Then let's go out with a bang.
All right. That's good enough. I'll figure it out. I mean, what else could possibly go wrong tonight at this point?
Give it 5 minutes.
John, your camera's very high.
It's been smoking tonight.
Yes.
Is that better?
Underground elephant. There's a throwback.
Yeah, it is a throwback.
You're listening to episode 210 of PHP Ugly. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and I could tell you a little bit more about the show, but you know what? I'm going to just kick this over to my friend, John Congdon.
Thank you for kicking it to me. And I'm going to kick it for you in just a few minutes. Trust me. You're not going to want to miss this.
Or you could talk about how we stream weekly. You can come join us live and interact with us in our Discord. And, we're getting more viewers because my other host, Tom, will take it over from here. Tom, you tell him.
Yeah, I think we're good for kicking ourselves today. I'm Tom. This is a podcast with 3 supposed friends who torture each other and talk about PHP stuff. I think we peaked last
Hey,
week.
Tom, your screen's not updating.
There we go. I'll fix that for you. Clearly, we peaked.
We record live weekly, and we do it. We stream this mess, this hot hunk of mess live. And if you come and watch us live, you can see some of the stuff that happens before and after the show. If you only listen to the audio podcast, you're going to miss out on certain things, but you'll be just about as disappointed as if you joined us live. So yeah, welcome.
You won't have to listen. If you are only listening on the audio, you don't have to listen to all the filler garbage that's in there.
That's right. I know, John, you're right. I've got to stop with the self-loathing. It's a nervous reaction I have of how I handle this. But yeah, our production quality has been getting kicked up a little bit. I've actually been really happy with it.
Speaking of which,
okay.
I mean, we have a special video presentation from John this week.
Oh, you want to kick it up now, or do you want to kick it up later?
Yeah, we can ease into it. I would not want to go on a date with you, Tom. If you're just like, so are we gonna have sex or what? It's like, I don't know. Can we have a drink? Maybe eat beforehand?
Well, if my streaming techniques are as good as anything else goes, I'd rather the disappointment come first.
That's what she said. What?
Oh man!
I did a thing. I'm really happy with this thing. I hope you guys are as happy with this thing as I am. Would you like to see this thing?
Share your screen.
I enjoy seeing your thing, John. Lay it on me.
I don't
put it right in my face. Let me see your thing. I just want to see all of it.
Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Do you know who this is? Do you know who this is?
No.
I do not.
I've been watching him on YouTube for a while now. Love this guy. Let's take a listen.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know they be smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP the Ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting. I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
Oh,
That is
my
pretty incredible.
God!
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen.
I can't stop sharing my screen.
Holy crap! That was tight. Oh my God!
That was pretty incredible.
When he started singing, I'm like, John, we don't have copyright. Like I'm sure we have to get a permission to play this on. That was awesome. Who was that?
So this is Harry Mack.
Harry Mack.
Harry Mack. He does some amazing freestyles. He's big on YouTube in LA. Goes around the streets and does freestyles for people. And since the pandemic, he's been doing it on Omegle, which There was another thing like Omegle where you basically get paired up with a random person, and you just
Chat
talk,
roulette.
and he gets to. Oh yeah, chat roulette. That was it. Anyway, some of his videos have been amazing. I loved watching it, and I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, do you do custom? I know you do custom freestyles, but are you taking? Will you do one? And this is what he came up with.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think we have to replace the opening of our show with that.
Pretty sure, yeah.
It's a little long for an opening, but I would. I don't care.
I'm not sure anybody would have a problem with it. Holy crap, that was off the chain. That was wonderful. You gotta send me a copy of that first off. Man,
For sure.
That was. I don't even know what to say. That has to be the coolest thing ever. That was dynamite, man.
Yeah, that.
Oh man, I'm so happy.
That might have been so good that it just ruined the rest of the show.
Yeah, I'm done. We could wrap it up here. This is it. We're done. We're finished. I know that's like I got my mom a Cameo. She is getting her bachelor's degree. She's like 70 years old. She's over 70 years old. She's getting her bachelor's degree. She's a big fan of what is the show? I don't even know what the show's called. The two brothers, they're fighting evil. Help me, guys. Come on. What's the show called? The two brothers that fight evil.
It's not Superstition. It's Supernatural.
Supernatural. Yeah. So there's some actor on Supernatural that she likes. So I cue him up, and you have to put in a description of why you're doing the cameo. I'm like, yeah, my mom's 70 years old. She's getting her bachelor's degree. She's been working on this since before I was born, blah, 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 blah. And he sends his cameo. He goes, yes, this is for Anna Johnson. Happy belated birthday. I'm like, fuck birthday. Are you on cruise control here? What are you talking about? Holy smokes.
I like that.
That's where I went first for this. Was I went to Cameo, and he was on there, but not doing any freestyles via Cameo. So I was like, it sucks. And then reached out through his website and handled it all that way.
That was fantastic, man. That was fantastic. Either that's going to be the opening or that'll be the closing every week. I don't know. I can't even remember how our opening goes now. Oh, it's the lady. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a tough call. That's good. That's a weekly. That's in there weekly now. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it's going to be in there somewhere.
Oh, man.
I don't even know what to talk about now. I want to listen to the song again. Jesus. Oh, that was so wonderful. I've got to make sure I say thanks to him on Twitter, man.
Yeah.
Wow. If you're just joining us and you didn't hear the official PHP anthem, what is the name of it? PHP anthem? PHPUgly Anthem? Ugly Anthem?
Sure. Who knows?
Yeah, Ugly Anthem. Yeah. Harry Mack is the man.
I've been listening to that and just wanting to share it with you guys. Couldn't hold it anymore.
I can't believe you didn't share that with me. I am impressed, I guess, but man, that was moving.
That's pretty great.
The funny thing is that I pay for it through PayPal, right? And I use my John at DiegoDev PayPal account, not realizing the email goes to Eric. I'm like, for the love of God, please don't research this at all.
Hey, what's funny is I was just thinking today, I'm like, I never did give him shit about that PayPal payment. I should try to figure out what that is. And then yeah. Oh man. Oh,
too funny.
So I want to bring
outside of this.
I want to bring my wife and kids in here now and have them listen to it. I can't wait we need to wrap the show up. I've got to show this to people. Oh man. Yeah, I had things to talk about. I had a good week, and I'm trying to remember what it was. You go first, Jen. I know some things you want to talk about. Let's hold off on you, because hopefully that's a deeper conversation. Thomas, how was your week?
Well, I've been dealing with Horizon a lot, and no, I hate it.
Why Verizon?
Remind me which one that is. Is that the one that watches your
Yeah,
queues?
Horizon is the queue and service.
Oh,
Yeah.
Horizon.
It's the queue and queue service launcher and supervisor thing, and it's.
I remember you had problems with that when it first came out. You're still having issues with it, or what's...
Yeah, so I've got I think 12 queues total that I use, and one of them is for batch processing a large number of images, and another one is for batch processing a large number of other images. And we're deploying a thing where we're trying to implement WebP, which means processing all the images on the entire site. And it can't load balance. It can't figure out how many to run. I'll have one process that has 0 workers on it, even though I say the minimum is 1. And it'll just start piling up.
Are you still talking?
Yes.
In case you're wondering, the song made it on YouTube. I was just checking that. So
Just verifying.
yeah.
And then, I have one thread, I have one queue that's got 750 items and another queue that's got 5,000. The queue that has 5,000 has 1 process. The queue that has a few hundred has 30 processes.
So wait a second. I don't use Horizon, so I don't know. You're using that to figure out how many processes?
Yeah,
to
it's
run?
supposed to auto balance itself. But
Oh. See, I went way old school. I wrote my own, what I call queue runner, that we scale manually. Basically, it now scales up based on server.
take
so
it.
if we auto scale a server in, but everyone complains about
the
it.
other thing is that
but it
it
works
can't account for CPU usage in any way. So all of my jobs started failing from timeouts because they took too long to process because it was running too many at once. So it's not, Horizon is nice. It's not a queue balancer. It's not the auto balance thing. Don't use it. Don't trust it. Just do the math on your own and calculate what your queues should be. Don't trust the auto balancing thing. It has never worked.
Are you in AWS or anywhere else that does auto scaling of servers
No.
for you? Oh. See, that's what my queues have been moved into. So it was on a single server where, manually saying, okay, for this queue, run 4 processes. For this one, we want 8 processes. This one doesn't really mean anything. Just run 1 process.
Yeah, and I could do that with Horizon.
Which was fun.
But Horizon keeps saying to me, hey, we've got an auto balancer. It works better than ever before. And no, it doesn't. They just added options and features to the existing balancer that doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't work for your use case, right? So maybe...
Which is
There's
running
gotta be
queues.
some-
I mean,
Right, but what it... I guess I don't know how it's auto-balancing. You said it doesn't pay attention to CPU usage. So is that the potential difference? Where
possibly it might not be balancing correctly because of failure rates on queues. It might not be balancing correctly because it's got too many on one queue and nothing on other queues. But I mean, situations like not having a worker on a queue that's told that it has to have at least 1 worker is not okay.
that's something else we just changed recently that I was super stoked about. Was it was always a process would listen to 1 queue, but there were so many queues that were almost always empty, and we've got like 40 different queues. So having a process sit there doing absolutely nothing, so now having them be shareable, where if it has no work to do, it'll go listen to all the queues and handle the job just fine.
Yeah, and that's sort of what this is supposed to do. And it's all supposed to scale up, but just doesn't seem to. So, been dealing with that. I pushed out Laravel 8 to production, so we are officially only 3 versions behind now. But yeah, I just a week of testing, pushing. Did some upgrades to my Git commit hooks so that I've got my branch name in the commit. Played around with that and
Oh, that's interesting.
I like what I
That would be interesting.
get out of it. So now whenever I
Share that one with me.
So it's changing your commit message.
Yeah, so it just changes your commit message to have the branch name in front of your commit message.
Because you use Git flow, right? So you have a very unique naming, not unique, but you have a naming convention for your branches.
Right. And that helps us track down what does and doesn't work for any number of reasons. We've got 4 or 5 people pushing to the develop branch. So when something breaks, it's nice to be able to track down. We know what ticket it broke in, but when everything gets squished together in develop, we don't necessarily know which commit was in that branch. So it helps us out a little bit.
That's nice. I might have to steal that from you. I like that idea a lot.
Well, besides that, I think that's about it for this week. Oh, except somebody stole my Buscoin idea and is using it now on Twitch.
Really?
Are they successful with
sure.
it? Exactly.
I think it's like Streamer Coin. Who knows?
All right. So before we get to John, let me I guess talk about my week, because I did have some good things this week. First thing, I heard this awesome new song called "Ugly Anthem," and I can't stop grooving to it. It'll be streaming on Spotify here shortly, I'm sure. No, I got a little bit. God damn, I can't even remember what I wanted to talk about. I did get to reap a little bit of the benefits of my repository pattern, which I've been championing for so long, and John's now kind of giving me a little additional firepower of why it's a good pattern to use, even though I haven't been using that way. He talks about something about testing and mocking. I don't know, but we had moved the DiegoDev blog. It was on Medium, and I recently just re-released it on Jigsaw. And last night, I remembered, I'm like, hey, we're posting our Medium, our blog posts on our company website, and that's still pulling from Medium. So I started to refactor that, and so 2 things paid off for me. Number one, since I was using a repository pattern, in theory, I didn't have to touch anything. I did end up touching it because I did make a cardinal sin and had specified the repository pattern to a naming convention. It actually said medium post, and it should just said blog post. So I did end up technically refactoring my repository, although I didn't need to.
That's a fair enough refactor for switching like that.
Yeah. So I created another data source, which again, I actually didn't even have to do that because the data source it was using was a CouchDB data source. So that's all JSON. And in theory, I could have just imported the new blog into the old data store, and it would, I could have done some stuff to figure it out, say, hey, find titles and all that. But I decided, again, for the same reason I had given it the naming convention Medium blog post. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to create another data source called blog post. And again, because I'm using CouchDB, it was just a JSON dump, so it just pulls in, and I was able to kind of move everything along. I haven't pushed it yet. I still need to clean up a couple things, because. So here's one of the problems with using CouchDB or using a document store. When I went to display the blog. Well, first thing, I'm trying to pull in the blog post. I'm like, that's weird. These things aren't coming in the right order. It's not coming in by the date published. And then I looked at the data that I had in the new Jigsaw, in the Jigsaw framework, and it actually wasn't including the date. So I'm like, oh shit, that's a problem. So even though the data was getting into CouchDB, and even though the repository pattern allowed me to switch it over to the data store and everything worked, it couldn't figure out the order because the new data set didn't have a date in it, because it's a document store. So there was nothing there saying, hey, this is a required field. So I need to look at Jigsaw and include that on the feed. But I was actually very happy with that. I'm like, wow, that actually wasn't bad at all. That was kind of pleasant, actually. It was nice. So that was cool. I felt like there was something else. I can't get that song out of my head, so I don't know what it was. I am thinking, for anybody interested, I have had a couple people ping me, ask me questions about my workflow, my tool chain, because we've been talking about my move to Pop OS. And people have been asking me some questions. So I am thinking about doing some, I don't know, I'm not really committing to it, but maybe like 10 minutes of, this is something I use, this is how I use it. The one thing I really want to do a quick video of is how I've configured my PHP store in Vim to mimic my normal system Vim, and show kind of some of the commands I use and how I use it. And I don't know, I'm probably going to do like just jabber for about an hour and then cut them up into like 10-minute segments and just, push them to the Ugly YouTube channel. I'll see. It's not like I don't have enough on my plate already. I don't really need to do it, but I don't know.
I've already got a comment on Facebook. They love the freestyle, and it should definitely be part of the opening.
Opening.
Right, absolutely.
Now I have to have a video opening.
That should be the whole show. It's the only show every week. I do want to say thank you to Eric for helping me this week. I've been in Laravel bliss.
There we go. He's coming around. He's coming around.
No,
He's coming around. You're coming around.
I just don't want to upset Steve.
We've got Steve on our side now. He listened to our latest episode, which unfortunately I think that's as good as it'll ever be. But yeah, he tweeted out that he does like the show now.
Yeah, so I upgraded my my microservice that was on Laravel 5.7. I upgraded. All I did was change out my composer with what was standard stock in Laravel 8. Let me rephrase that. I didn't just move Composer JSON over. Whatever I had in my Composer JSON that was different in the stock one I brought over. Otherwise, I left it alone. And everything just worked. I was shocked. I keep hearing how horrible upgrading is from
experience.
Somebody on this show constantly tells me how horrible upgrading is, and it just worked for me. Mm-hmm. So when I pitched the idea of upgrading, it was based on Eric's recommendation. I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to start a new Laravel 8 application, and I'm going to do everything with test-driven development and then bring my routes over because I've only got like 10 to 15 routes. But when everything just worked, I'm like, okay, I'll just leave it as is and add tests to my code, which for the most part was working until it wasn't. I'm calling up Eric. I'm like, if you're bored, can you please help me with this because it's not making sense? And one time he was just being a rubber duck for me, and I forget what that first one was. But I think I was just
I remember you there. Oh, it was the Docker one. You had Docker configured wrong.
That was the second one, I think. But it was just various little things, mostly my fault. One of them, I finally got my database refreshing and seeding and everything was fine. I could hit the endpoint via my browser. It was working fine, but my test kept failing. And I don't know how long we spent on that. Oh my God, it was so stupid. I was using a different endpoint in my test. I wasn't using the endpoint I was hitting in my browser was not the same that I was testing, and I was just being very stupid.
We've all done that though.
No, never done that.
And then because you don't test.
Right.
The other issue I was having, part of it is because, again, this code base is 15 years old, not the Laravel portion of it, but the portion that uses this quote unquote microservice. So the authentication scheme is a little outdated, shall we say. And I wrote a custom guard to accept the authentication process and do everything I was supposed to. For me, I could not figure out how to return a 401. Laravel's Black Magic wanted to return a 302 redirect to the login page. And Eric and I spent
isn't that app abort 401?
No. Oh, that would have worked too. No, but in his defense, he did correct syntax. He was doing the return response, a message in 401. Just we weren't putting it in the right place. So he did actually know how to do it. He figured he was doing it correctly. We were just, the request was getting hijacked. He just had to figure out where it was getting hijacked at.
Right. It turned out to be unauthenticated. The unauthenticated method in app HTTP. I can't remember where it was at.
In your middleware?
Yeah, I think I could probably easily find it if I wanted to.
Yeah, so he just overrode it and injected. It was fine.
Right, because the base one says it's looking for a request that expects a JSON response, and if it does, then it returns a 401. Otherwise, it returns a 302 redirect to login. Unfortunately, my use case says I'm doing a generic get on an endpoint. I'm not passing in any additional headers saying that I expect JSON or content type or any of that crap. So took forever, but I've got a bunch of tests already written. I've got Laravel 8 ready to go. Not in production yet, but ready to test. And I'm excited about it. I am annoyed by the black magic, though. I can't.
There's not that much black magic. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's
always a little magic. I mean, that's why it's a framework, right? So I got a question for you, John.
Sure.
I know you've been on the fence for a little while. No. Is there an iPhone 12 in your future?
Oh, there better not be.
No. It's hard. It's so hard. The Pixel 5 just announced recently. It works on 5G. I've talked about possibly switching to the iPhone only because the ecosystem is just there. The way it works from your Mac to your iPhone. My wife is an iPhone person. Being on iMessages would be nice. It's not a requirement, but I've considered it, but no, I don't. I just hate the iPhone. I hate the iPhone OS.
Can you guys clarify this for me? Because I find this amazing, but I guess the new iPhones are not only not coming with earbuds, but they're also not coming with a charger.
That's correct.
they're not coming with the wall adapter, because everybody has 1,000 USB
Let's
adapters.
go over that real quick. The cable that they give you is a USB-C to Thunderbolt, which will not
really?
work on the adapter you already have.
Okay.
So
Never mind. Well, I mean, a lot of people already have USB-C adapters too, but now that you say that, you're right that those are not as common as the USB.
Are you telling me that the phone's not going to be a USB-C charger?
No, I think it is.
yeah,
I think the new one is USB-C.
that's why you're getting USB-C to Thunderbolt, so you can hook it up to your MacBook.
Okay. Yeah, to John's point, I mean, yeah, I guess people have, but it's just weird, right? I don't know. It seems weird.
Well, it's also, they also are assuming that a lot of people are doing wireless charging now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that much more plastic and parts that people will discard.
And
so.
Apple, I mean, these flagship companies are very well known for following the USB standards very stringently. And if you don't know, USB-C standard is more than difficult to implement. It has a lot going on inside of it, to the point that when the Raspberry Pi 4 came out, their implementation of USB-C was incorrect. And things like fast charging are actually managed by a small integrated circuit in the cable as well as in the transformer. So they are more expensive to make, these fast charging USB-C, wall warts. So it's probably, a $30 savings for the end user. But it's $1,000 phone.
I was say they're still charging $1,200.
They're not. Yeah, it's not like they're passing that savings on to the end user.
No.
So it's a $30
I was just curious.
savings to Apple.
I know you had mentioned it, and I was like, I wonder if somebody had posted that by. I think they said that by the iPhone 15, they're just going to send you an empty box and just say, well, everybody has a cell phone, so.
I think I think Apple's goal is actually to get rid of all external ports, including the charging port. So to push wireless to the point where they can seal this thing and it's got no holes whatsoever in it.
They could totally do that now. I mean, the only thing about the port, like my phone, the Pixel, the only time I plug it in is to plug it in to my Android Auto, which is in my truck, and that's only because I have an older version that doesn't do wireless. And then on the rare occasion where I'm at a conference or something, and I've been away from a wireless charger, and I might have to plug it in my phone to get charging. But for the most part, I mean, it was funny. I was up in LA. This was back when I was rocking the Samsung. I was up in LA, and I was at a Starbucks, and they had wireless charging on the table at Starbucks. I'm like, this is dynamite. Like, everybody should have this. So yeah, you could totally seal off the phone at this point. I mean, there's even the Pixel. The last couple Pixels haven't come with a headphone jack. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if you considered the external speakers maybe, but yeah, you could totally. I rarely plug my phone in.
Now there's an Echo Auto that you could use to hook your car up to your phone.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. I mean, I have a Bluetooth system in my stereo system, but Android Auto has it does the map on my screen and has integrations and all that. That's why I use it. I don't have to plug it into my car to listen to music. It's just more convenient for me, especially on long trips.
I just looked up the Echo Auto, and it's 15% 1-star ratings on Amazon.
I'm not interested in that on any level. Yeah.
That's a lot of 1-stars.
We got a tech trainer in chat on YouTube. What's up, tech trainer? What tech do you train exactly? I'm just. Are you just into like tech trains? Are you just really into trains
Oh.
with like computers? I don't know these things, man. I don't know. Jeez. Buttery. Good afternoon, Buttery. Good morning, whatever it is for you. I have Japan on my. I don't have Japan on my time anymore.
Oh, you're hiding an article here from me, Eric.
Oh, am I?
I didn't see this.
I did not read my articles like I should have. Which one are you talking about?
No.
I have a very recursive knowledge.
Microsoft is not rebasing to Windows to Linux.
Oh, I wanted to read this. I haven't read it. Yeah.
Oh. I see. It's just a guy's opinion. So he can.
Yeah. Unlike us, professionals.
Oh, he's a fan of the net, though. That's nice.
We've been talking for a long time about how we have this theory, and to be fair, I think Thomas and I have been talking about it for years now, that Microsoft has been slowly converting over to a Linux desktop, and of late, a few people have kind of gotten on board with that idea, and this finally came across an article that says no, that's not what's happening. And I don't know if I agree with him, but I have to read the article to know if I disagree with him, and I haven't.
I had a friend recently on Facebook who shared the fact that on Linux you can use grep, but the command via PowerShell is a ridiculous command to try and type. And it just makes me still not want to even try using Windows.
Yeah, I try not to be too much of a hater of anything.
Except me.
I think every OS brings a unique quality to the table. But man, I tell you what, the last time I tried to get on Windows at my mom's place, I was blown away with the ads for games, and I'm like, Mom, are you playing like these Candy Crush games? She goes, no, it's just on there. I'm like, why is it on your startup menu?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, I'm a terrible person to comment on anything Microsoft as far as the desktop goes, but it's
though
not pretty.
I feel like those two departments aren't connected, which is developing Windows and then what's going to be on the default installs, and they're not in good communication because the taskbar or the start menu is still horrible. It's worse than it was in Windows 2000. That was the pinnacle of the start menu. It's got ads on it. It tries to hook up to your mic automatically and always on listen. It tries to do all sorts of ads for games through the Windows App Market, and it's terrible.
I mean, to be fair, I think Mac does that as well. It wants to enable Siri on your laptop. I mean, it's easy enough to disable. I'm sure it's easy enough to disable on. And for Windows, it
is not.
What's it called?
It's not disableable. It's called Cortana, and it's a core.
Cortana.
It's a core component of the system that cannot be taken off or disabled.
Oh, they're using that excuse again. Mm-hmm. They're using that excuse.
Yes.
They pulled that with IE back in the day. And
They used the same trick as they used for IE2. When they said IE is a core component of the system and can't be removed, it was because the Windows Explorer and the desktop were actually running an IE in a mode. In this case, the indexing of applications that are installed, the search functionality, all of that taskbar and start menu functionality is tied into Cortana. It's called Cortana. So, yeah, they use the same trick. And I had an article for a while about it, but there was a group teaching people how to remove these features, and showing you how to make your own disk image that installed Windows without all that crap. and they got a DMCA takedown and copyright notice from Microsoft. So they got completely screwed. So trying to disable these features is, according to Microsoft, a DMCA violation. It was called Ninjitsu OS. And they gave you a suite of tools that said, hey, disable all this crap that's tracking you everywhere. But no, Microsoft said no.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of a I'm getting a little torn on the whole OS thing myself. I mean, I'm still on the Pop OS. As I mentioned last week. What happened? Where'd that come from?
Went to move a window and it started playing.
Oh, jeez. I just started breaking and dance, man. So okay, every desktop has issues, and Pop OS is no different. For the most part, it's been a non-issue. I have this irritating issue with audio stack that I need to eventually get addressed. I did have my system crash on me this week, where everything froze up, and the whole system just shut down, which, to be fair, I've had happen on my Mac. I haven't had it happen on the newer Mac as frequently. But again, the trash can Mac, that wasn't that uncommon of an occurrence. I know blue screen of death. Yeah, blue screen of death is infamous on Windows. I don't know if that's still a problem or not. So
not really.
It's funny because it's like when things happen on the Pop OS system, it's like my senses are heightened, because it's like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix this. Like, not everybody's using this, and I don't know if I can get it fixed, Whereas in the Mac, it's kind of like, this sucks. I'm sure somebody else has had this problem,
I'm sure there's a class action about this problem.
Exactly. So, I mean, I currently don't have any plans on not using the Pop system. I mean, like I said, I'm perfectly happy. Matter of fact, I'm probably more comfortable in it because, as I explained when I first started using it, System 76 has integrated a lot of keyboard integration with like the desktop and moving windows around and things like that. So it's feeling very natural to me now. But these little problems, like the audio issue, which I've talked to friends like, oh yeah, I have issues with Bluetooth on my Mac all the time. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't feel like it's the same thing.
Yeah,
and
that's the one thing that is stopping me from pulling the trigger on a System 76 machine is your audio issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
it's no small thing.
I really want to give it a shot, especially for the Docker component. Yeah. And I'm like, do I?
That's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, keep talking. I'll come back to the Docker piece.
No, I'm wondering, do I get the System 76 and run like just my development suite of tools on that, but still keep my Mac here to do all of my audio stuff, all of my meetings and all that. But then I have an issue with sharing my screen. From Zoom, I'm not going to be able to share my IDE if I need to.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's real. And I mean, to be fair, I still have my Mac system to my left. I just have my.
That's the question.
I just have my chat clients open. No, I don't use it. It's always there in case, like, I can't get an issue resolved on my Pop system during a meeting. But I haven't. I think the last time I used it was for the show that one week where I couldn't get Skype working correctly, and I was on the cuff of doing that again today. I was having Skype issues again today, so it's probably been a couple weeks since I've actually used that system. And I don't know. I mean, you were in meetings with me when I'm on Zoom. Does it seem any different when I'm sharing my screen? I mean, does everything look normal?
Yeah, I haven't noticed anything.
Yeah. I mean, I think I have. I think I keep the Mac running as kind of a safety, but yeah, but I haven't. Fortunately, haven't needed it. So the Docker thing, let's circle back around on that, because first thing I owe somebody a huge apology. I want to make sure I get the names right this time because I totally flopped it the last time. So we were talking last week on the show about how Thomas and I, we liked Docker, but we were having like our ideal Docker configuration where we could run multiple containers, but have like port management handled automatically and all that. And we heard back from some listeners. So I don't know their real names, but OHFFS in our Discord had actually suggested a project to me, and I'm scrolling back now to try to find what it was called. It started with a T.
Yes.
What was that called? Here's my response. All right, I checked out Traffic.
Yes.
Traefix. That was very interesting. So this was a Docker container that allowed you, all you had to do was add a label into your other containers, and this would auto-discover it and handle the routing for you.
What?
That was pretty cool.
Quick correction, Traefik.io.
Okay. That was pretty cool. I'm like, okay, I might be able to get this to work. I'm like, this is going to be kind of weird because for people who aren't using it, they're going to see that label in the Docker Compose in the repo, but whatever, blah, blah, blah. I was kind of okay with it. And then in our other channel, in our coding channel, how do you pronounce this name, Thomas? DGOOSENS?
Dogsons?
Dogsons? All right, so this cat...
DiegoDev.
DiegoDev. He really kicked it up a notch for us. So in the coding channel, he's obviously a Docker guru, sort of IT Linux admin sort of guy. He's like, oh, hey, you can just do a reverse proxy. I'm like, no, man, I've been trying to do a reverse proxy and it's not working. He goes, oh, no, just do it like this. And he actually showed me something that I didn't know, which is in the Docker containers, when you're assigning ports and you're exposing ports, so you can say, hey, port 8888 on my local system goes to port 80 on the Docker container. So that allows you to do your local host at 8888 to get to port 80 on the Docker container. He's like, no, just prepend that with an IP address. So 127.0.0. whatever. He's like, you can do .3, you don't want to do .1 because it's local host. So you can do .2, do that on port 80, and then have that go to port 80 in the container. And then on your reverse proxy, you just say, hey, talk to this. I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. And then I'm not a networking guru by any means, but I didn't realize you could just assign IPs like that. But it worked. Like I started messing around with it. I'm like, okay, that works. And then he goes, if you really want to take it up a level, you can use DNS Masquerade or
DNS Mask.
Yeah, DNS Mask, and you can assign different TLDs to different IPs, basically. So I'm reading through his stuff, and I even asked him, like, hey, would you mind if I posted this on the company blog? Did I lose you?
No.
Nope. We're still there.
Oh, okay. Hey, Thomas, your screen froze. Just letting you know that. No, my screen froze, actually. This might not be good. So here we are just talking about it. So anyways, I dive deeper into what he's suggesting, and I'm configuring things. I'm like, all right, I think I can get this to work. And when he showed me that other trick of defining other TLDs, I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I think Devilbox has that. And so I actually went back to Devilbox, and it had a setting for that. So basically, I got the best of both worlds now. Well, I don't want to say the best of both worlds, but I have a functional environment that I'm happy with, where Devilbox is kind of the default development stack, And then if I pull into other repos with other containers, I can spin them up. I can do the port forwarding, which in our case, we manage our port forwarding through our local .env file. So other developers won't even be inconvenienced by seeing a weird setting in there. I handle the port forwarding, and I've set up my devil box to say, okay, if this TLD goes to this IP address and so on and so on. And it worked. And I'm very happy with the setup so far. So I'm getting closer. It's not quite fully there yet, but it's very close.
So is this where you have like a single container running MySQL for all of your other containers?
Sort of. So I have Devilbox that runs that has a MySQL, which is what I'm considering my system, MySQL. So Devilbox runs MySQL, Postgres, the Nginx. It actually auto configures it. So I have it point to my repos directory and say, hey, any projects in my repo directory, treat them as a website. But Devilbox is limited because you have to say, okay, if I'm treating all your repos as a website, what is the root? So in Laravel, I have to tell it it's the path to the project / public. So if I throw something else in there that's not configured like that, Devilbox is like, hey, I can't figure this one out. I don't know what your root is. And I think there's ways to manually override that. And I played with that a little bit, but it didn't work. But the point being, so that's all one single version of PHP, of MySQL. But if I get a project that has another version of PHP that it needs, I can still spin up that Docker container, and Devilbox will handle routing to that Docker container for me. So it's working out. I want to play with it some more, and probably I'll probably write up a blog post that's probably going to include the recommendations we got from Discord and the things I figured out, and just kind of put it all in one big blog post. But yeah, I'm happy with it.
Well, I'm glad that you went down that route, because I went down a different route. I ended up on a Docker container called Muximux, Muximux, and it solves the specific problem I had, which is that I had a bunch of Docker apps that all had web interfaces, but on a different port. So what this does is it just lets you pull up your server as one location, and it's got tabs for all of your different web applications that are being hosted by that machine. You can tab through them real quick. So it's just a little tiny tool for helping manage these kinds of servers that have all of these things in them combined. And it's
that's not a Docker thing, though, right?
No, it's a Docker container that you can configure to say, hey, create a tab for this port on this machine or this port on this machine. So you create a mini tabbed browser that knows what, has a configuration file, basically. And so when you browse to that IP, then you can pull up your applications on that IP one at a time. And it probably does it through like an iframe or something, incredibly simple. But it's just a drop-in container for my Raspberry Pi system. So, if I was running FreeNAS, FreeNAS uses a web interface. If I was running Lazy Librarian or Radar or Sonar, there's all these applications. All of them want their own port, and they all just do sort of light load work and need configuration and attention. This thing just sort of manages that for you. So, but definitely, it sounds like you came across a much more advanced solution than I did.
Yeah, but I mean, it's advanced on several layers, because this is not Valet. This is not a plug and play solution. I had to go in. I had to update my resolve.conf file, which is basically saying, hey, when you're resolving DNS, make sure you hit this local DNS service as well as external DNS services.
Which you could do from your router.
This is true. Yeah, that's true. That's true as well. And to be fair, I think this is also how Valet works their magic as well. I think they're using that under the hood as well. So it's not, but Valet makes it very. You don't have to touch anything, but Valet installs everything for you and handles, and everything you do is through Valet. So, which I guess the argument could be made for Devilbox as well, but it's definitely a step up. It's listen, people on Mac, they're very, very delicate creatures. You don't want to have them do too much. I say for my frozen desktop. So yeah, my frozen Linux desktop. Thank you, System 76. This is perfect timing. Jeez.
Well, it's gonna take some tweaking to get that thing stable. It's Linux after all.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, do you have lots of audio inputs, or is it just for your mic, the Scarlett for your mic, and your Bose headset?
No, there's a lot. There's the Scarlett for the mic. There's the Bose. There's the webcam, and then I think also, if I'm not mistaken, I think even the monitors show up as inputs as well. I would have to double. I can't check right now, John. My system's frozen, but
I'm sure they do, because they do in the Mac as well.
Oh, okay then. Yeah. So yeah.
I was just wondering if you did something funky before I make a final decision on
we can be
getting
certain,
one or not.
We can be certain that he did.
And that's no lie. I'm actually to the point now where I almost want to restore this back to factory settings and try to reinstall things, because like my audio issues that I'm having now, I didn't originally have. I was able to switch from Bluetooth to taking Bluetooth off without issue, and then all of a sudden it became an issue. So I'm sure it's me fucking around too much with my system, which is a problem I have. I enjoy it, and I start.
That's
tweaking
why you
things.
use Linux.
Exactly. So I am all for taking responsibility. And the cool thing about it is, and the cool thing about Linux is, it's these sort of problems that once you figure out what you did wrong, you become better at it, because now you know the solutions. It's like, oh, cool, I know how to fix this now.
Yeah, so you just need to call me more often.
Yeah. I should actually.
Speaking of strange Linux issues, there was a small issue this week where PHPUgly packages that were downloaded that didn't have a version requirement would upgrade your system to PHP 8 RC1 in Ubuntu.
PHPUgly packages would do that?
Yeah, so they would define php.star or PHP star as their requirement for running. And when 8 RC1 got added to the global system, it would add that and download it as well. So your system would actually download all the PHP versions, and you could switch between them, but it would default to the latest.
I did not know that was a PHPUgly thing.
I don't understand entirely what caused this to occur. It wasn't pair.
No, PHPUgly is separate from pair. It's a different thing. I just didn't.
These were apt-hosted PHPUgly libraries that were doing it.
Interesting. So installing that via app would say, oh, I also need to upgrade PHP.
Yeah. So, small issue this week. Looks like Eric has completely crashed on us now. Don't know what that means for the show.
He has been crashed. We're bumping up on time anyway.
We are bumping up on time. While he is figuring things out, I'm going to go ahead and bring up our Patreons. Huge thank you to our Patreons, even the ones that are no longer Patreons, but still listed on this page because I don't remember to do basic maintenance tasks. It means a lot to us, keeps us going, you get this wonderful video presentation quality, access to our Discord, and what are they called? Keychains. Since Eric's offline, I'll say the right word. I really think that's true. I think it is definitely it's a pat on the back more than anything else. just to drive other people crazy and bitch and moan about Laravel. We have the Taylor card. I know a little about it, but yeah, we can save it for next week.
Yeah.
I do know. Excuse me. There was a small issue this week. It turns out that the jailbreak that's been used for the last couple of months, on iPhones, is also applicable to Apple desktops. And look, Eric's back here with us just in time. The jailbreak, people hadn't been testing this kind of stuff on the desktops, but it turns out that you can remotely gain root access through Apple desktops, or on Apple desktops through firmware hacks. And it is in the, I believe, T2 chip in Apple products and is unpatchable.
Really?
Yes.
That sounds like a good reason to go back to System 76 and price out a new machine.
They definitely don't have any Apple parts in them.
So I'm confused. Is it if I jailbreak my desktop, then somebody could gain access to it? Or are you saying that
somebody could jailbreak your desktop without you knowing?
Remotely?
No, it is a physical access issue.
Oh, okay. That's where I got very confused. You said remote.
Yeah, but it's been a valid attack vector for a while. It's just that no one cared about the desktop, so they didn't test it. But it turns out the desktop and the phone have the same chip for security.
Albeit bad security.
Yeah. And
so don't leave your laptop at an airport is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's generally considered a bad move.
Oh man, I'm out of scotch.
That's a good time to wrap up the show then.
That's I think that's you got to take us out with the song one more time. Come on. If you're tuning in, you want to stick around. Cue that thing up one more time. Drop a beat, John.
Yes.
Where is he? Are we wrapping up and then we will
Yes, we'll wrap it up and then we'll close with the song.
Let's do that. Yeah. So thanks for listening to episode 210 of PHP Ugly. It is in the book.
Thank you very much. I'm John.
I'm Tom. Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
Listen, I'm a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know they be smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional. now, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can't nobody go beyond this. I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words very tight. They're getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's love. Hey, shout out to y'all, peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now we can never move our show from Thursday night though, because he has it in the song.
You're gonna have to send us the notes that you gave him to write that too.
Yeah, how much of a conversation did you have with that person?
None. I filled out a form and there was like 10 spots and it was like boom, 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 boom.
Oh, really? There was like no. He grepped all that just from some form he filled out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't have access to that form anymore. But I mean, literally, it was Eric, host, loud and passionate. Thomas, never wrong. John, smart, quiet.
Never wrong. Jeez.
Thomas's segment.
I love the fact that we were just talking about the OS and my freaking system completely crashed on me.
That's so funny. I'm gonna stop local.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you everybody for listening.
So, did you lose your Zencaster because of that?
Well, I don't know. It's saying it's uploading now. I don't know. When I came back on,
did you restart your system, or what did you do?
Yeah, restart my system.
You never restart a Linux system. Lesson 1.
When I came back to Zencaster, yeah, I think I lost my audio. It's saying 0 hours, 0 minutes.
Control Alt F1.
So is that what it is? Control Alt F1?
That drops you into a terminal at a lower level, at a lower run level, so you can fix whatever's broken.
Well, I mean, but my whole system was nothing was responding.
Control Alt F1 always works, baby.
I have to try that. Oh, I don't know. This does have audio.
You can, at the very minimum, you can get to a low-level console always.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, John. I'm gonna
usually F8 that brings it back to the UI.
Yeah. Whew, boy.
Dude, that song is crazy,
Yeah, can
man.
you send that to me through Skype? Because I have to play that for the wife.
Yeah, I'll do it through Slack. I'll upload it on
That's
Slack.
what I meant, Slack.
Matt, throw it in general so everybody can appreciate that. That was crazy.
Jersey, Wursey.
That's gotta be the coolest thing ever. Oh, I think I got my audio. Yeah, I got some audio. I don't know if I got it all.
That's impressive.
Interesting. I'm sure I'm gonna have to grab at least some of it from. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be an interesting one. I'm sure your video froze for me.
Is it working now that I
No,
focused
wait,
on
hold on.
OBS?
No, I mean not for me. It might be working for John.
It's working fine for me. Okay, it's uploading. It'll take a while.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I'll let you guys go do your gaming or whatever. I gotta go pee. So, all right, you guys take it easy.
Alrighty.
Talk to you later.
Have a good night.
Definitely don't want to Definitely don't want to play until this thing's finished uploading.
I'm trying to get Slack installed on this machine. You know, John, you'd be proud. I've been paying attention to vegan and vegetarian things. Just because every person's impact matters. Hey, look at that. I'm going to shut down the stream.